Zimbabwe began a 21-day nation lockdown on Monday that will curtail movement, shut most shops and banks, and suspend flights in and out of Zimbabwe. So far, the country has recorded 7 cases and 1 death. Today, I am joined by Mr Busisi Moyo from the Private Sector Federation in Zimbabwe to talk to us about the lockdown. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much.
We'll begin by the situation in Zimbabwe currently. How is it looking like after the lockdown?
Well, it is very quiet during the lockdown. This is day 3. We started on Monday, so it's quiet, and there's not much economic activity going on. Everybody's staying at home. People are working from home, those who can, and a lot of the non-essential services are essentially shut.
How disastrous is this 21-day lockdown to especially people that don't have permanent jobs or steady jobs?
Yes, I think it's going to be a challenge, especially you would know that Zimbabwe is 60% informal sector. The formal sector is only 40% of the economy. So those people in the informal sector, they don't have reserves, they don't have large savings, and they depend on working to earn a living for their families on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, the government announced that it will give out small cash payments to about 1 million vulnerable homes in Zimbabwe. Is there a database that will be used in case all the people that can be reached, to reach all the people, basically?
Prior to the coronavirus pandemic, Zimbabwe was facing severe drought, and so the government and the NGO sector, the non-governmental organizations in the country, have been building databases of vulnerable families within cities and rural areas. So I think it will be to plug into those databases that they were using for the drought to address the economic effects as well as the direct health effects of the coronavirus.
Yeah. Mr. Busisi, before this public health crisis, Zimbabwe was already in an economic crisis. What's the impact or the toll of this 21 lockdown to the economy of Zimbabwe?
Well, I think it's going to see further economic challenges. The country was already in difficult circumstances, high inflation, falling employment, which is called stagflation, which is a difficult economic situation to resolve. Inflation is easier to resolve. Deflation is easy. Stagflation is very difficult. So this is going to depress production even further. Government is making initiatives to try and lessen the impact by allowing, for example, farmers who are harvesting their crop in April to be able to continue to do so, so that we don't lose the agricultural production that was already in the field and ready for harvest.
Yeah, maybe as we wind up, how responsive are the citizens to this 21-day lockdown?
Well, day 3 shows a mixed reaction. I think in the formal sector, we have seen very straightforward and a response to where people have stayed at home, stayed away. However, in the informal sector, we're seeing some people still wanting to continue their business for the reasons I mentioned earlier, that they basically have to work every day to earn a living for their families and to shut down for 21 days. But I think communication is the issue, and once they find out that government will be looking at vulnerabilities, social safety nets, I think you will find people becoming more compliant because they understand that they are not going to starve, they are not going to suffer as a result of the lockdown.
All right. We do thank you so much, Mr. Busisi, for your time, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much, RwandaTV. Thank you very much, listeners. Good night.
Stay safe.